James obviously played with Aaron Rodgers. You won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. It's the facility. Y'all get about 40 years of NFL experience here uniquely on this show. James, start us off. For NFL fans, for Steelers fans, for fantasy football fans, for betting fans, hey, should people be excited? And
for betting fans,
should Steelers fans be excited about Aaron Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf?
Steelers fans should absolutely be excited about Aaron Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf. Number one, it's letting the Steelers nation know that he wants to play football. Number two, I don't know if y'all know, but y'all quarterback right now is Mason Rudolph. All right, so I don't really know how far you guys are going to go with Mason Rudolph. So to have a guy in Aaron Rodgers who's capable of making those two dudes, DK and George Pickens, really, really good players, they should be really excited that he is out there throwing because it lets me know he wants to play football this year, and it lets me know that it's going to be the Steelers. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care who reports it and all that. It's letting me know that it's going to be the Steelers. There's no way.
Breaking news from James Jones.
I'm just saying,
James Jones.
There's no way that DK says, hey, man, let's throw. Why are you calling me to throw, bro? I ain't coming to Pittsburgh.
They look happy, man.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way Aaron will reach out to DK. Hey, bro, come out, work out, let's throw. For what, man? You know what I mean? Hey, I'm going to go out here.
Share what you shared yesterday. I found it fascinating. I played in the NFL, obviously, but had no idea what you mentioned as far as quarterbacks don't throw with receivers at random unless they're training at the same offseason facility.
No doubt.
Share that intel.
If you're training at a facility, let's say you train in Arizona and there's everybody there. Shedeur McCoy there in his Cartiers and, you know what I'm saying, James Jones there. You'll throw with the dudes there. But you do not do no private workouts with receivers, just you and them, unless they are your receivers for the season or unless you're about to go to that football team. That is it. There's no way we should be sitting here talking and doing that about chemistry and all that type of stuff about how to run certain routes if I'm not going to be playing with you. So this screams a lot to me right here. I threw with Aaron Rodgers in San Diego and Los Angeles and all that in the offseason because I was going to be catching from Aaron Rodgers. I did not go catch from Eli Manning. Well, I'm going to go over there for. I am not catching the football from Eli Manning. So they should be excited because, to me, this screams that Aaron Rodgers wants to play football and he's going to be a Pittsburgh
Hey, real
Steelers.
quick, that's a good point, though, because I remember, you know, all the quarterbacks, they ought to call these little meetings and little practices and all that. And I remember Mike Vick was the quarterback, and he called, okay, get back, we all going. And I remember one time, I think we had one like 2 weeks later, and I think Vic got sick or something like that, and I think Matt Barkley, the quarterback, he called, hey, we gonna do passes.
So
yeah, I'm gonna be there, dog. I'm gonna be there. You know I ain't come. And there's no April Fools. So when you said that, like when the star quarterback calls you, you're gonna make sure you answer that call and go.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I like it. I think they should be excited for the most part. Look, this is all everyone up here at the desk is saying is like when you're in the off season and you go and you call these workouts and you say, hey, it's usually with other guys though. It's usually with a running back. It's usually with the other receiver. Now George Pickens probably out on the East Coast. I think DK's here. So this just is a dating process to me. I said it yesterday, but first, you know, he flies in, he meets with the Pittsburgh Steelers brass, including Mike Tomlin. They have intimate conversations, which is meaning nothing on the football field. How are you going to handle everything off the field? How will you be as a teammate? I think that was really smart as Tomlin. The next step in the dating process is go try your girl out. Okay, that's DK Metcalf, right? You have to understand what type of guy you're getting to go with. And I think this right here is awesome. Like, this is one clip of it. I didn't even know we had video of it. But they're trying to get this timing down. And so this dating process is like, all right, what's the next step? Because it looks like it went well, right? It looks like it went well with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's holding Aaron Rodgers back? Like, why? That's the only thing that gives me pause a little bit is like, why haven't you signed yet? Because DK Metcalf and George Pickens you got some pretty good receivers in those guys. Yeah. You got to figure out your run game. You got to figure out the offensive line. Defensively, overall, they can get better, but they're a good team. So this is by far Aaron Rodgers' best chance at making the playoffs and maybe getting a chance to go win a Super Bowl if he plays extremely well. The Vikings obviously have passed. They don't want you anymore. Maybe he's holding out hope. I just don't understand what's holding it up, but they should be excited about this because you have Mason Rudolph, and nothing to be said bad about Mason Rudolph, but if you can get a future Hall of Fame quarterback even for a year, you should be excited about it.
The excitement, though, is what worries me, fellas. Viewers at home, I would temper my excitement because what are you getting excited for? Like, I could be excited to have Aaron Rodgers over Mason Rudolph, but I can't be excited to have a quarterback who's 14-21 in his last 3 seasons. There's no excitement there. I can't be excited about a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers who only won 5 games last year. Right now, Aaron Rodgers' name is bigger than his game. The excitement is actually what's going to lead, I believe, to Steelers fans' demise, to your demise if you draft Aaron Rodgers on your fantasy football team. The excitement's actually going to be the problem. I was thinking about it driving into work. If the Steelers would have signed Russell Wilson, they probably wouldn't have been that excited. But over the last 3 years, if you compare Russell Wilson to Aaron Rodgers, both have been a part of a couple different franchises, y'all tell me who's better. And even if you want to still suggest that Aaron Rodgers is better just because you want to give him the benefit of the doubt for whatever reason, clearly he's not substantially better, though statistics would suggest Russ has a better win-loss record, Russ has more passing yards a game, Russ has just as good, if not better, a touchdown-interception ratio, and Russ has a better passer rating. So if you wouldn't have been excited about Russell Wilson, which obviously Mike Tomlin was not, why would you be excited about Aaron Rodgers? Because of what Aaron Rodgers did with James Jones in 2011? Or maybe because of what Aaron Rodgers did right around the time of COVID? Mind you, we're over 5 years away. Why would you be excited about Aaron Rodgers? That's where I'm at. Let's not let the name conflate the idea that Aaron Rodgers' game hasn't been elite. It's been good. It's been good. Nobody will knock that. But it hasn't been elite.
Yeah, and that COVID, my Tampa team, we spanked on them, though. Yeah, we spanked them. They had the number 1 seed, too, though.
They were?
But they always had the number 1 seed.
Of course.
Yeah. But that's a great take, because I was feeling the same way. I've been saying that Russ and Rock, they're the same for real. One brother's a little darker, one brother's a little lighter, right? Now, I will say this, though. The Steelers should be excited.
Thank you.
I mean, for God's sakes, the quarterbacks today, right, as we speak, is Mason Rudolph. I mean, and Skylar Thompson, right? So if I'm a Steelers fan, I have no type of hope for that. What are we going to do with this? And then Aaron Rodgers, you see, our highest paid wide receiver come over here, Mecalf, and they're throwing. So that's something to be excited about. And I always try to get some good and some bad, right? Because that's the name of the game, man. When it's some bad, try to find some good. And I do think that the Steelers, right, when they lost Russ, I'm like, what are they going to do now? And now if you bring Aaron Rodgers in there, I do think they can go to the playoffs. I do think they can win 10 games because they did it before with Russ. So I have some optimism about, Aaron going over there, but I just, at this point, we talk about Aaron Rodgers so much like he's the old Aaron Rodgers, and he's not.
Yeah.
So, yes, Steelers fans should be excited to have a legit quarterback as a starter, but that's all you really can say. Yeah. If you really watch him the last couple of years, either other than him getting hurt, he won 5 games, gentlemen. That's what really happened. Yeah. As much as we love to say how much a great player he is, his resumes, this and that and the third, it's impeccable. I get all that. But if we talk about today right now, he don't win games. He don't elevate the team. When we talked about the Jets and they made that move, everybody loved it. Even myself, like, wow, even though Aaron hasn't been great this last couple years with the Packers, you bring that Aaron Rodgers with this type of team, with this type of defense, with some of them skilled players on offense, they might have a chance. Yeah. And then it happened. And then 5 wins happened. So as much as we on paper, we look at something, we love it, we got to look at reality, man. And reality is Aaron Rodgers today is not the old Aaron Rodgers of the past.
And in reality today, to your point, because I would agree, like, big picture, the Steelers fans should temper their excitement. But they should be more pissed off about how they even got to this point in the quarterback carousel in the process. Like, so let's just take that for what it's worth. But you have to be excited about Aaron Rodgers because, the quarterbacks left out there. Do you want Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco?
Rodgers, of course.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, which you're not sure about injury?
Rodgers.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers or do you want a rookie quarterback?
Rodgers.
There's my point, and I think that Steelers fans understand it because Rodgers might be a little washed up, might not have this, that, and another that we're saying up here. But as it stands today, the Steelers have walked themselves into a situation where they have to rely on Rodgers. They don't have another choice right now to help them at least get back to the playoffs.
Now, isn't it, though, fellas, a shame? Again, Mike Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches of this generation, but isn't it a shame that the Steelers have lowered their expectations at quarterback play so much so that we have to get excited about a 14-21 over the last 3 seasons, Aaron Rodgers? Like,
that's the
to me,
conversation.
It is shameful, James Jones, that you are now sitting here on April 1st with Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson as your starters, and that's no April Fool's joke. So to me, it's a shame that you're at a point in your life as a Steelers franchise where we're not getting excited about a 29-year-old Aaron Rodgers, nor a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers. We have to get excited about a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off of one of the worst seasons in his NFL career. To me, that's what's more disappointing than anything.
Yeah, number one, They should be extremely excited, even if those other dudes was included. You jumping up and down, Sam Darnold signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you super juiced it.
No.
You know, you jumping up and down if they miraculously sign Justin Fields back.
No.
You jumping up and down. You jumping up and down if they get Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So what we jumping up and down for? You're not jumping up and down for that neither.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even with those quarterbacks included, to
That's a good point.
Be honest with you, to me, Aaron Rodgers is the one you probably can get the most excited about, whether it's the numbers, whether it's the stats, whatever it is.
General Manager Joe Schoen, he said something fascinating. He said, hey, they're not going to force themselves to take a quarterback. Remember, the New York Giants, they got Russell Wilson, $10.5 million guaranteed. They got Jameis Winston, I think a 2-year, $8 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. So the Giants have depth at quarterback. There is a chance, Shedeur McCoy, that the Giants pass on Shedeur Sanders at number 3, even because they currently have quarterbacks. But would they regret it?
That would be a bad, bad move. Now, Joe done did enough bad, right? Now, one thing I learned about this thing, and I've been, I'm in my book.
Yes,
right?
sir. Good book.
And I don't want to make this a biblical thing.
But preach if you got to preach, Shedeur McCoy.
What you make one sin, right? You got to repent, because you won't make another sin. Joe, if you pass on Shedeur Sanders, that's 2 sins, brother.
2 sins.
And we all want to get to heaven.
Amen.
And you can't get there if you keep sinning, Joe, so don't do it.
Oh, so you say the first sin was Saquon.
Oh, my God. Was it not?
Okay.
I mean, was it not?
That might be the unforgivable.
I mean, dog.
Blasphemy.
Even God was like, what are you doing? Listen, all I'm going to say is this, man, and I don't want to keep this a long thing with the Giants because I got a lot of love for Joe. Because Joe was in Buffalo with me, right? He's seen the greatest. I was showing him over there. So I don't know why he's making this nonsense, okay? And then Ryan Day was my guy. So, but real quick, with Shedeur Sanders, you have a legit elite quarterback in the making. And then you add him with a Hall of Fame starter like Russ. Imagine a world where I can learn from a Hall of Fame quarterback. So even if I'm sitting there for the first, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, depending on how the season goes, I'm learning from Russ. And you talk about New York, let's be honest. The Cowboys, the Giants, the Niners, the Eagles, some of them teams, football is better when they're good. Okay?
True.
And it's something to talk about. Come up here on a show talking bad about the Giants, that don't do nothing for the ratings. But talking on TV about the Giants when they're playing good, that's something big. Who can move the needle for the ratings?
Travis.
Shedeur Sanders. I'm being serious. You talk about the look, you talk about the swagger, good or bad, whatever it is, it gets you that attention.
It'll help him for sure.
And when he's on the field, we know he can ball. New York's about the stars, man. Can we be honest here for a second? New York's about stars. Okay, so now if y'all playing well with a good quarterback, with good coaching, and the team is showing some promise to be good in the future, that's what you need. Imagine the Shadour leading the Giants right against the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Like, they'll big the whole thing up, right? I'm thinking about the bigger picture. I know everything you want to talk about is X's and O's, and X's and O's is a big thing. But if you get some X's and O's and win games, right, with good football, and you got a superstar, bona fide quarterback, Shedeur Sanders moving that needle, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about coming here on a Monday, can't wait to talk about it. Because every sports station is going to talk about a superstar quarterback in New York. It's been a long time since we had that. Imagine Shadour was leading that playoff team with Saquon against the Vikings and they won. You know how big that would have been?
That's a good point.
But it was Daniel Jones, and nobody really cared to talk about him because we know who he is. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I guess it's a different situation because I come from a superstar family, you know what I mean?
Ringing?
You know what I'm saying?
It's ringing.
See, y'all might have different phones, but my phone, you see my phone.
Superstar phone.
Yo, Shedeur McCoy, Superstar Hotline, you're hot. 1 second. Oh! Yeah. So now that's Shadour right there. So imagine Shadour throws a game-winning touchdown, though, and then does that. Think about it. Think about
Not a bad take. It's not a bad
That's
take.
not a bad take at all.
No, it's a real take.
I'm torn on this one. What Shady just said was incredibly convincing. I love this show. I'm not going to lie to y'all people. Top of the morning to y'all. I don't think they will regret it so long as their draft pick hits. One of the most profound things I ever heard from a general manager, I didn't talk to GMs often unless they were cutting me. Sad story. We'll talk about it later. One of the most profound things I ever heard from a general manager, Chase, was, Acho, it doesn't matter who we miss on as long as the dude we take hits.
49ers.
True.
Like, it doesn't matter. They were like, it don't matter. They were like, Hall of Famers could get drafted at every position before us and at every position after us. But so long as the guy we draft hits, it don't matter. So I don't think the Giants are going to regret it so long as Travis Hunter, who I assume they will draft and should draft, hits.
Great player.
And I believe that Travis Hunter is the safest prospect to be good in this draft class. I don't know who's going to be a Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
I don't know who's going to be elite. But I think if you had to bank on somebody going to like 3 Pro Bowls, hey, Acho, you got to put You got to put $500,000 on somebody going to 3 Pro Bowls. Travis. I can't guarantee it's going to be Shadour. I can't guarantee it's going to be Cam Ward. You see pass rushers stall out sometimes. Abdul Carter, he looks generational. But Travis, because of his position flexibility, because of his maturation, because of his elite athletic ability, he is the one I am most sure will be good. I don't think they'll regret passing on Shadour Chase so long as the guy they drafted, Travis.
I'm trying to figure this out. So if they draft Travis, he's going to play corner, right? And then some wide receiver. So I look at, okay, a guy like Sauce Gardner, right? Probably Travis is better, bigger name, more athletic, but Sauce was a really good
first year.
All
right?
first
year.
They can get the Sauce out of Travis Hunter. My goodness.
And what
I
did
know,
that,
that'd be amazing.
And what did that do for that franchise?
Not much. Nothing, actually.
You get what I'm saying? That didn't make a big difference. And I love Travis. I think Travis is the best player in this whole draft. But all I'm saying is that you go out and get a splashy, solid cornerback that make all pros first year. Cool, I'm cool with that. What does that do for your franchise?
Great point.
You get a quarterback.
That's a great point.
And that can move the whole team.
I feel you.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't argue with that.
And last thing, and if I'm going to buy season tickets, right? Because we talk about New York City, okay?
Yeah.
We buying season tickets are going to be expensive. What's going to make me come to that team and watch them? A lockdown cornerback?
Or a quarterback.
No. A bona fide superstar, right? That appeals to everybody culturally. They want to see that. I'm gonna put money to go see that.
There's no you can't lie about that. Now the counter could potentially be would they come see Russell Wilson because Russ is there, but I can't dispute what Shady McCoy
Yeah, and look,
saying.
ratings doesn't save your job. Like I love ratings, but Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, they need the best player available. They need to get better offensively, defensively, and right now that player is Travis Hunter. I would take the absolute best player available. If Travis Hunter is available, you pair him with Malik Neighbors, give Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston or whoever plays a chance to throw the football to him, and then you play him on the defensive side of the football. I think that positional value of quarterback is so high. But we need to read between the lines here because teams that end up passing on quarterbacks, they're telling us, and we're going to see, April 25th, what happens is if they end up passing on quarterbacks, they're not ready to play because the Giants, they need a quarterback. The Browns, for everything we're hearing, they're taking Abdul Carter. They need a quarterback. It's going to tell you a lot about the second, third, fourth quarterbacks in the draft if we see Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, all these guys dropping. So for me, I love ratings, and I think that's great. The Giants have walked themselves back into a corner here. The fact is they signed 2 veteran quarterbacks. And we know how you feel about Russ up here, Shady. And if he can play even remotely like he did in Pittsburgh, it's going to give the Giants some stability at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
To come in and to say a rookie quarterback in Shedeur Sanders is going to save that franchise, which that franchise needs saving. And I don't know if Brian Daboll or Joe Schoen get a year 2 in a Shedeur Sanders tenure. So if that's the reason, then I think you need to pass on Shadour. I think you need to go out, you need to draft quite possibly an All-Pro or Pro Bowl player year 1 and make your overall team better.
Do you think if they do that and go the way you said, get the best player on the draft, which is probably Travis, which is a great pick. You think the Giants, they win games? You think they win games?
I think Russ, they can absolutely win some games. And honestly, this was the other part of my point is you don't have to reach on a quarterback at 3. There's going to be some good quarterbacks available in round 2 or back at the
you're going
round
star. You're going star power.
Hold on. No, hold on.
I think he's going star power.
Well, we had
You can be a starter like Dak Prescott if you're drafted in the 4th round.
Star power.
No. Because before hold up. So you saying that they could win now? We had this conversation.
That's what I was going to get at, but it's early.
Yeah, now. It ain't that early. I remember, because you remember. So you saying...
They can win more games with Russell Wilson at quarterback than Shedeur Sanders.
I'm just saying, can they win enough to keep the job? Because you said they can...
I have no idea. We'll see how it goes. Every year is different.
But Chase said it would take 8 to 9.
I think they need to make playoffs.
Yeah.
To keep their job.
So what I'm saying is, if you already feel like that, right? You feel like if Russ is the quarterback, whoever it is, but let's use Russ, because you don't think... So if Russ is the quarterback, you don't think they're going to the playoffs, and they wouldn't...
No.
Right? So why...
I see what you said.
That was my point.
So Shady's kind of they're getting fired either way.
Yeah, why not bring a dude in that somebody has... We want to come watch play.
I didn't say this, but say if they're already on the hot seat, Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll.
They already are.
Do you think that John Mara's going to let them pick a quarterback so high if they know they're not going to make the playoffs? And then this new head coach that comes in the next year and this new GM comes in the next year, that's a possibility. You got to be able to think no. you guys aren't drafting a quarterback this high because a first-round quarterback gets at least 3 or 4 years, and we don't know what this new head coach and this GM. That happens all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we don't know if they're going to even let them draft a quarterback,
and
especially at 3, because you can have. Sorry, before you go, you can have Travis Hunter play for the next decade.
Yeah, and
you know they can just go. A quarterback's completely different.
I understand everybody's points up here. Shady's point is really, really good.
Thank you,
right?
thank you, brother. Thank you,
If
brother.
you turn in the ticket with Shadour, ticket sales and everything, excitement goes up.
And he has a good quarterback,
we
too.
don't know what he's going to be.
that's
We don't know what he's going to be. He
Yeah.
could be a Pro Bowler. He could not be a Pro Bowler. I don't want to tag bust or none of that. Pause next to him, but he cannot be good or he could be a superstar. We do not know. But what I do know is I am not drafting him if I ain't gonna be able to coach him.
Exactly.
Point blank period. If I'm Brian Daboll, I am sitting in my chair in my office right now selfishly. I have Russell Wilson, a guy that's capable of winning me games. I have won games with Daniel Jones at the quarterback spot. Not just regular season games. I have won a playoff game with Daniel Jones, strictly playing some good defense, right? A good run game, and my quarterback making a couple throws every now and then. Now I have a better quarterback in Russell Wilson. I am going to get some playmakers around him. If Travis Hunter is there, I cannot pass up Travis Hunter. I believe Travis Hunter and Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors and Tracy Jr. can help you win some games and help you save your job. I believe that. Because if you draft Shadour and Shadour struggles and he goes like this, which he probably will because that's what a lot of rookies do at the quarterback spot, you're not going to be able to have your job to be able to coach him. The GM and the head coach is gone. I am putting my team in the best situation to compete right now. What does that mean? Is that 7 wins? Is that 10 wins? I don't know. But I'm going to give my team the best chance in training camp to go compete and win some games.
Yeah, well, when we return, we know the quarterback Brock Purdy gives a 9. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.